Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart. No, dude, come on, sync up.
I might have been a little early.
You're clapping over the fireworks. We usually do fireworks.
Well, no, I do both. I go
you do both?
clap because that's we don't have a live studio audience, so I gotta do that myself.
Right.
And then after you finish, then I hit them with the fucking rainbow.
Firework rainbow.
And I mean we.
Welcome back, dude. Smart Nonsense Podcast, rip roaring, as this tends to happen. The cycles of love this thing, hate this thing. This is a cycle of love.
Well, you were talking me up really hot, and then I started thinking about my whole life choices and my identity as a human. And I'm like, wow, maybe I am a YouTuber. I just
at the end of the week,
didn't know what a YouTuber was. Yeah, you're just like, wow, this is pretty funny. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Let's get to it. We have an issue before we do, which is, I know you spent a lot of time dialing in your podcast studio setup because you're number one podcaster in the world. I can see from behind you, it's just blown wide open because it's now daytime.
Oh, so I got to adjust the lights on because now they're competing.
Well, yeah, and your camera's probably all confused, but that doesn't. Dude, this Topo Chico, oh my god, it's doing things inside my body. Sorry.
That's what bubbles will do.
What's up, Pop? How was your Super Bowl?
Well, it was cool, dude. We got friends over. Put a little B-roll picture. Me and my friends right there. You see that? Watch on YouTube or Spotify. Had some friends over.
Don't go negative.
Feelings. Well, let me think of something positive. I had friends over. That was the positive. So now I get to go negative. Halftime show. I just retweeted this actually. I think it's the death of rap. Because I've had this feeling for a long time. I think rap isn't made to be performed live. It's not.
Okay.
Live performances are for instruments. That is where they thrive. You got somebody on the drum. Have you seen SpongeBob, dude? Fucking boom. Yeah, it's just like you get the boys going. And I think on Twitter there were a lot of like the old Super Bowls when you get like a real rock band and you got people swinging through and it's just really patriotic. But here they try to do some patriotism, which is nice, but it's just mumble rap. And this is supposed to be like the best rapper there is.
Wow, coming in hot on a Monday. The negative Nelly.
I got more negatives for the Super Bowl, but they're kind of sweet.
No, I mostly agree with that actually. I thought all the Kendrick Lamar Drake T was pretty fun, but I don't actually know a whole lot about it. But I agree, it's like there's just not a lot you can follow when someone's walking around the field rapping. It's kind of hard to get into. A lot of great memes coming out of it of him. You've seen him like walking around in circles rapping.
It was like the bag from
United
Airlines.
We'll roll it, and there it was.
Nice.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully that's the nail in the coffin for all of that nonsense, and we can just get back to just cool old-fashioned electric guitars and some big drums.
The Beatles?
Maybe a
rock
cowbell.
And roll?
Dude, it's the reason. I feel like that's the essence. I was saying, someone asked during it what I thought, and I'm like, I just wanted Led Zeppelin. Let the lead out, dude. But that's just
Name
because
one
I
Led
got
Zeppelin
American
song.
flag. No, dude, that's not how this works. One. Fuck, dude. No, don't hit me with the list.
Okay, wait, no. I'll let you choose any band you want, and you name one song.
No, dude, that's not. Here's the thing: you could say that for my entire Spotify playlist. I don't know a single song name. I just know the vibe, dude. I want the vibe. Fuck, dude. I do want to know one song though, because I definitely know one, but it's a vibe. So we'll
Stairway to
see.
Heaven.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth, dude. My mouth.
More negative takes? Should we get them, or we can? I'm
Fuck.
happy to go any which way, really.
Well, this is just a funny observation. And this ties into my negative takes on Costa Rica. Dude, one thing I was wondering, just a little side tangent, when there's some AI analysis of this podcast over time, I think that the pessimism just goes through the roof. Optimism just goes down over time. So I was thinking.
Well, I was showing you. I was experimenting with this little AI meetings tool called Fireflies.ai for recording meetings and giving you summaries and action items and whatnot. And one of the funny things it gives you is like a sentiment analysis of your meeting, positive, neutral, negative. And for the most part, we were like 93% positive, 5% neutral, 2% negative. But I was like, if you run that on this pod, 90% negative.
The Fireflies
90%.
Yeah, so Costa Rica, negative Nelly. Basically, yesterday it's gonna tie together. You have a Super Bowl, you gotta have a Super Bowl party. So you get like food and snacks and drinks. One person, the snack that they bring is trail mix. It's like trail mix, really tasty. I love trail mix. Everyone loves trail mix. You can just take a handful and you get all these different things smashed together. But the highlight of my trail mix is you don't just want like nuts and raisins and everything. You gotta have chocolate. It makes it trail mix. Yeah, some M&Ms. The problem is one of my roommates, this is how I keep anonymity. One of my roommates really likes chocolate, but they don't like anything else. So they go into the trail mix and only eat the chocolate.
That's not allowed. There is one universal law of trail mix, and it is you don't get to pick and no choosies. No.
Just exclusively choosies. And so no. I always go to get trail mix now, and it's just nuts and fucking raisins. It was the same thing Costa Rica. And it's funny. We all like chocolate, but man, you ruin a whole tub of trail mix. It's not just fucking the worst two things. It's like getting left with yellow Starburst. Wait, what happened in Costa
Rica?
We bought a bunch of trail mix because like on the rides and stuff, you want to eat trail mix, and there'd never be chocolate in the trail mix. And I'm like, this is no longer trail mix. It's just fucking trail.
So that's how we tied Super Bowl to Costa Rica. Trail mix with no chocolate.
It was just funny because I'm like, wow, I love this. And then I go for another handful and they're all gone. And she's like, oopsie, I just love chocolate. It's like, well, you got to bring your own chocolate, man, because you're ruining my trail mix. No, I'm meant to be positive. There's upside here. Great roommate. I love her.
Dude, you're going to have to ask my brother about this one. But he was telling me this funny story of on his daughter's ice hockey team. The voice you just did reminded me. So this is gonna be a tough thread for the pod, but that's all right. There's like this little kid. He's the smallest kid on the team, but he's a diehard team player. So he's like they call him the enforcer. Basically, like if someone gets hit, it's gonna be this little peewee's job to go back and hit the person and like lay down the law. So Jack tells a funny story of how he does that. Like some kid decked someone on his daughter's team, and then their little peewee enforcer goes from across the ice, ignoring the play and the puck, and just lays this guy out. Gets a penalty. He's doing this. It's like a 7-year-old pumping up the crowd as he skates to the penalty box. And then Jack says, then after the game, he comes over to his dad, and this kid sounds like this, and looks like this. He's like, "What, Dad? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything out there, Dad. It wasn't me."
Because he's also like 7 years old.
Yeah, so that's the enforcer. What? I just ate the chocolate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, I bet that kid eats the fucking chocolate out of my trail mix.
Dude, speaking of kids, roller coaster of a pod. This thread is called "Kids Are Really Fun." That's what this thread is called. And I think you're someday going to be a good dad because of how funny kids are. But basically, it was my brother's, and you're a kid forever, but it was my brother's son's 6th birthday. He's the middle child. I've been a middle child. I know you're neglected. So we thought, you know what? We're not going to get him something. We're going to do something with him. We're going to do something special, just me, my girlfriend, and the 6-year-old. And so what we decided on we're going to do is a magic show and a hibachi feast at Benihana for the 6-year-old.
Together? Is the
The
chef
three of
going
us.
to do the magic? He's going to pull a dove out of it and then kill the dove and eat the hibachi dove?
Chop its head off on the hibachi grill. Hibachi dove. No, but so instead of giving him something, we made this like fancy official decree of celebration. And I ran it through ChatGPT. And it's like, to the esteemed master, and then his name, on this most auspicious occasion of your 6th birthday, it is with great honor and joy that we extend our warm on and on and on about what we're going to do. And dude, he ate this thing up, dude.
Nice.
Halfway through the letter, he's like, me? Only me? Just me? And then he had to sign it at the bottom. It says the supreme ruler of the 6th year. He signed it immediately, said he accepted the invitation. Wow. And my takeaway there is imagination is nice. Imagination is nice.
Wow.
Yeah. How did we get there? That's for you to figure out.
I'm trying to think how to fucking cling on to imagination is nice. I could only think of SpongeBob and how he'd be a part of the Dirty Ants pretty soon. But I didn't think that was worth saying. That's really cool. I'm glad you did that. Originally, I wanted to be a hater about the decree, but it seems like it was a big hit because I only got one love language with kids, and it's fucking throwing them across the room. So it's nice you're doing something more formal.
A decree. Yeah. Yeah, but when he was opening it, I went like, freaked out, dude. Freaked out. Lost it. Lost his mind. He's like, a trumpet decree for me?
Right. Mouth trumpet decree.
Mouth trumpet, dude.
That's sick. You should armpit fart too. That'd be really funny for him.
They were doing that actually right before. Yeah, my brother's daughter's pretty good at it. Like actually weirdly good. It sounds really like a fart, and I could never do that actually. Yeah, Royal and Bass. Yeah. Wait, I had something else I wanted to tell you. I had something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, well,
meat eater, dude.
That was it. So I wanted to make one editorial. What's that called? When you have to issue like an edit. An edit to the podcast, which we never do, but we have to do it live because I was saying the other day how Meat Eater podcast is really boring, and we think this one's boring when we have like 2 pauses, 2 seconds of silence, and you jumped in and said, "Oh, dude, Meat Eater guy, I hang out with him all the time. He's
my best friend.
He's been in my studio. He's my best friend." And I was like, "Oh, wow!" And then I carried on with the thread. You told me today that's not true at all.
Dude, I don't know what.
Like, what's up with that?
There was some dude that had a meat podcast, and it wasn't Meat Eater, but I've hung out with that guy. so it's like the more embarrassing, worst meat podcast. I thought it was Meat Eater, but I looked it up, and Meat Eater is like 50 years old. And
was it Binging with Babish?
That's not. No, dude, it's something like meat. Something.
Was it Guga Foods?
No, you're not making up names. These are no, it was like Meat something.
Well, I'm
not Meat Canyon.
I'm listing not Meat Canyon. I'm listing real big podcasts about cooking and about meat. And so I thought maybe you got confused.
I don't know if it's big. No, I did get confused because this guy's like 28 or 29, and that was not Meat Eater. So I don't know what and I also saw like the thumbnails were like all hunting. I'm like, wow, you weren't joking. Like I think this guy just eats meat. I don't know if he hunts, but we'll find out who that friend is to close the loop on that editorial.
Oh, it was a stranger off the street that came to your studio and said,
"It might have been.
I'm not vegetarian. I eat meat." And you confused it for the Meat Eater pod.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I thought I had a podcast later and I smashed them together. I don't know. I will say though, this morning, well. One, that editorial came up because I was listening to our podcast. I guess we're our number one fans, and dude, I was biking in after or while listening, And you know how I got the throttle? I think I said it on one of the last pods. The throttle is smashed, so I just full speed everywhere on autopilot. Will kill
Sticky
myself
throttle.
doing that. Sticky throttle. So it goes like 30 miles an hour, and I just ripped on the bike path, but no one's there at like 1 in the afternoon. So I cook. But the only people that are there are like these really old, really grumpy people. So I'm cooking down the bike path. This is, an hour ago, cooking down the bike path, and I'm literally at the same speed as the highway right next to me, because I think max speed in New York's 30 miles an hour. And this little old lady, dude, that it looked like one of those like uptight people. She's crossing. She's got 2 little dogs, and I'm listening to my own voice in the podcast on my way, just fucking bopping, and it's beautiful. And you see like the Freedom Tower, whatever that thing's called. And she has her 2 little dogs. She's crossing, and she's so fragile. And then she sees me fucking whipping by her, and it was just one of those. But dude, sorry for the audio listener, my bad for that one. But she's just like, I couldn't hear her because I was fucking zooped in, but I could see her mouth moving, and she was fucking throwing her fist at me in the air, and it just felt so good because I'm like, that's your problem, man. I'm fucking cooking. Just want to let everyone know that I'm a menace to society. But
Right.
it was just
The
like,
takeaways. Just want to let everyone know.
But it was just, I don't know how to describe the feeling, but it's like, man, I am above the law with this sticky throttle right now in my own pod in my ears. Like, she couldn't touch me, dude. Granted, she will legislate something where there's no electric bikes on the bike path anymore, and it'll backfire. But for now, dude, I win the battle. Fuck.
Gardaloo! I win the battle, dude. Congrats.